At some point on our journey, we find a place that truly speaks to us. A location that brings both peace and inspiration. Somewhere that we long to return to time and time again. For Indy, that place is Cullen, a quaint seaside village in northeast Scotland. Indy fell in love with Cullen when he attended one of my mindful coastal photography retreats. Now returning for a holiday with his wife, we took this opportunity to meet, enjoy a spot of photography, and share his creative process. May Indy's story bring inspiration and food for thought for your journey ahead. I'm really excited today. I'm off to Cullen to meet Inderjeet Sandhu. Indy has been a client of mine for a number of years now, and the last time I saw him was in Cullen itself, back in April when I hosted my last mindful coastal photography retreat. We're going to go to the beach in Cullen, do some photography together, reminisce about the retreat, and he's going to share some of his journey and photographic approach with you. The conditions that greeted us were quite something. Sweeping rain showers, surging waves, and even a rainbow. This is so exhilarating. Wow. It wasn't hard to find things to photograph. I'll share more images later, but for now, join Indy and I at Zen Cottage as we sit down to discuss his journey and his relationship with Cullen. Well, welcome back to Cullen, Indy.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice it is too.
Yes, yeah. It's so lovely to see you here. It's like we are back in April when you were here for the retreat, but the weather is completely different this time.
Yes, it is different, but at the same time, it's lovely because it's providing different opportunities, different textures. This evening when we were on the beach, the clouds, the rainbows, you don't often get that opportunity. April. As much as I liked April, it was warm, it was dry, we went out a lot. No, the two are completely different. I mean, in April, I walked up and down the beach when the tide had gone out. I saw some lovely patterns on the beach. I've been looking for the same ones. There's nothing there. Nothing there at all. That could be because of the climate, because of the waves that are a lot stronger.
That's one of the beauties of the coast, isn't it? It forever changes. And actually those patterns, I remember the images she shared after the retreat. Yeah. Beautiful patterns. Could completely understand why you wanted to come back and re-photograph them. But yeah, it's one of the things about the beach is every day is different, never mind every season. So to be greeted with the same things again would probably be quite rare.
Yeah. I mean, even tonight when we were on the beach, we were only there for about, half an hour, 45 minutes? But the cloud formation changed so quickly, the lighting changed so quickly. The two rainbows that we've got and the shafts of light from behind the lighthouse almost made it look like either sunrise or sunset. But we know that sun's setting on the other side. But yeah, it's. I think it's one of the reasons why I love being by the sea is because you can be on a small beach. You can go out at different times of the day and get completely different lights. And along the coastline of Cullen, on both sides, there's so much more to explore. And it's not like you've got to drive for hours and hours and hours. Like 10 minutes that way, 10 minutes that way, you can get it. Completely different types of coastline, can't you? The beaches are different, the vegetation is different. So, yeah.
It's a very interesting part of the coastline here because you literally drive 10 minutes down the road and it's completely different. You go from vast sandy beaches to sheer cliff drops, and then you've got these incredible rock formations and beautiful wildlife, and then these quaint fishing villages, which, you know, right now you're staying in Fishertown, or Seatown I think it's called, in Cullen, which is these really old listed buildings, the traditional seaside cottages, and it's just like going back in time. It's beautiful.
The types of cottages they are, the area creates an environment for us, and I know, you know, they've been decorated, redecorated, and I know it's a holiday home, but still, it's a cozy place to be in. And even walking around in Cullen, it's quiet and it's peaceful. You do meet people who talk to you. I must admit, when I came up for the workshop, the retreat in April, there was a bit of, I'm going to have to drive 8 hours, 9 hours. But honestly, Kim, it felt like I travelled through time. And I know you suggested I stay over one night, and I did, and it was absolutely beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I did, because the following day, I left early and I drove through a really beautiful part of Scotland. And I arrived here really refreshed. Really refreshed.
It's so interesting because people look at where we are on the map and they think, oh my gosh, it's so far. And of course, you know, when you live in the middle of England or even further down at the bottom of England, you know, it could be 10, 12-hour drive. But, you know, every time somebody comes up here for a workshop or a retreat, especially once they get into Scotland and you're driving through that scenery, they say that actually the journey is sometimes just as beautiful as what they see when they get here, and it's actually part of the experience.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree it is. And again, travelling through Scotland, the weather changes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get those short, sharp showers, and the next thing you've got bright sunshine. And the roads are much more pleasant to drive on anyway. And you've got the mountains, you've got the streams, you've got the hills. There's a stimulus all the way through your journey. And when I travelled up for April, I travelled on my own. But this time, we shared the driving. My wife and I shared the driving. And it gave me an opportunity to look around most of the time.
Listen to the geese going overhead. That's beautiful.
Yes, the geese.
Wow. I think what would be really interesting, Indy, is to get a sense of who you are as a photographer. I know you've done photography for a long, long time. And I think your approach has changed quite a lot over the years as well.
Oh, yes. Photography has completely changed for me, from doing almost very pressurized type of photography, which I gave up. I gave up photography completely. My camera stayed in the bag, only came out for when we were on holiday, or if there was a small party or whatever, it didn't come out. But then, funnily enough, it was another wedding that got me going again. It was my wife's, Sharon's niece. She was getting married, and I just took some photographs for our keepsake, not for anything. We did create an album for them. But then I found this YouTuber called Kim Grant.
Oh, who's she?
I don't know.
I'll have to check her out.
I can't. How she popped up in the list of the photographic YouTubes I was watching. And that was it. That was the start of a different journey for me, because I started following yourself, and then I honestly can't remember how. It must have been one of your YouTube videos that you advertised the photographic connections, and then from there, I did a mentoring course with you, which was online, and then I did a long weekend workshop with you at the farm, and it's just built on from there. And each time I've lost direction or lack of motivation, I've contacted you, and there's been coming back to back onto rails without any pressure from anywhere at all. And Cullen is a discovery through the workshop, through the retreat. And it goes on, that journey goes on. I do other bits of photography. I do enjoy, recently did a workshop on food photography, but it feels quite pressured. And my approach to photography has changed in the sense that I walk with a friend and that friend's my camera. And if we come back with an image, if we've created something, fine. If not, it's fine too. You just come home, see what you've got. If you've got something, fine. And if not, you can make a cup of tea and sit down and plan another day.
I love what you said there about your camera being your friends. You know, we're just going into winter now. You know, we're 3 days after the clocks have changed, and you know, some people absolutely love this time of year, cozying down, getting warm inside. But I know a lot of people also struggle at this time of year. You know, they find the dark, cold nights really challenging. And I think it's so beautiful what you said there about your camera being like your friend. It's almost like it gets you out. It's your companion. It helps you see things. And just for anybody watching, I think that's such a beautiful, I guess, analogy to consider. You know, your camera isn't just a tool, but it could be your friend, helping you to see these things and get out there.
And it's through the workshops that we've done and your YouTube channel that I watched, that the camera has become a friend rather than a tool. Before that, it was a tool. It came out, it got cleaned up the day before the shoot, then it got put away, complete the shoot. I mean, in those days it was film, so the films went off. And I felt no attachment to it. Yes, I paid a lot of money for the camera, but I didn't feel that attachment. And now I will even go just to the garden with the camera. And if I'm in the garden and the camera's not there with me, I use my phone. So always capture something. Always, even on some of my walks, I don't take the camera if I haven't taken the camera with me. And that does happen because I'm in a rush to get out. So I just have my phone. But there's always something I'm doing whenever I'm walking around. I'm always capturing an image or creating an image. I prefer to use my camera rather than my phone, but you know, I've got some pretty reasonable photographs with a phone as well.
And it was beautiful today when we were down on the beach because, I mean, the conditions today are incredible. I mean, the blue in the sky, it kept changing, the intensity of it, the shade of it. And then we had the waves rolling in with those beautiful white horses, but also the undercurrent of that was this beautiful turquoise green. Then we had the rainbows and we had this incredible just combination of clouds and this constant shift and change. But it was so beautiful when we were there because despite how dramatic the scene was and, you know, we could really get into that kind of, wow, look at the drama. I was watching you and you were still so peaceful, so contemplative, so immersed.
This is what I was saying to you, Kim, because you don't have to focus on things because they're there. And on the beach or the cliff or whatever, you've got that panoramic view. No matter where you look, something is happening. I'm not saying it's easy to photograph the coast. It's not. It's, you know, you still need to do your composure, the lights and what have you. But it does feel like point and shoot. It really does. And that takes the pressure off of all the technicality bits, you know, like the apertures and all, you know, you just click, click, click. But yeah, coasts for me are a retreat. I'll go back and say that, yes, I do enjoy going into the woods and photographing the woods. And I have got some really lovely photographs from woods. But given the choice, I'd rather be on the coast.
The surging waves and continuous motion inspired me to do some ICM. Many beautiful images came as I moved my camera like a paintbrush while pressing the shutter button. Indy took a more conventional approach, creating these images here.
I remember the first time we worked together, I think it was with the one-to-one mentoring, and I remember you were struggling because you live right in the kind of heart of England, so you've got, a few hours at least until you get to the coast. And I remember you saying back then how much you wished you were nearer the beach. And I think it's so lovely now that, despite the fact you're 8 hours from here, that this place has spoken to you so much that you're now making the time to come and actually spend time in these environments that light you up so much.
Yeah. I mean, my excuse me, my love for Scotland goes way back. Even before in fact, the first time I came to Scotland, it was in the Highlands, and I borrowed a camera, and I wasn't too sure about how to use it. All I knew was I stuck a roller film in it and just shot. But yeah, my love for Scotland goes way back into... I think the first time I came to Scotland was shortly after I passed my driving test. And three friends, we got together. And I think it was about a Wednesday or a Thursday evening. And my friend said to me, let's go to Scotland for a holiday. We picked up the atlas on a Saturday morning, from the petrol station, filled up, and we left. And we went via Glasgow, went all the way up to, on the west coast, all the way up to Durness, and then came back down again, down to Inverness, Pitlochry, and on to Edinburgh, then back down towards Glasgow, and then back down to London. And leaving Scotland, as we went across the border, the lights suddenly went off.
Wow.
It was like, I've got to go back now. And ever since then, I've come back to Scotland. Whenever I've come back to Scotland, it's always across the border, the light goes back on again, and just tour.
Wow. That's incredible. This place obviously really speaks to you on such a deep level, and I guess it's a really good message for people as well. If we find places in life that brings that light out in us, that excites us in some way, or that we just feel this sense of peace and inspiration, actually making sure that we carve that time into our lives. We can't all live, in these places, but to ensure that, you make time every year to come and embrace these places and actually spend the time in those places that light you up. It's incredible what it can do. And it was just, it's just so nice to know that as part of your journey, that coming here and connecting with this place has, I guess, reignited that spark within you, or that connection that you had with Scotland. And now coming here just for the fun, of coming up for a holiday, I think it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? It's different because I've always been the sort of person. I'm not sun lounger on the beach kind of person. I'd much rather walk up and down. The wind's picking up again.
I was about to say, we're in a cottage called Zen Cottage, and you are so zen. We've got this light coming on and on constantly, and the wind just got up and threw loads of water behind you, and you didn't even flinch.
That's Zen.
This really is a Zen cottage. Wow.
Wherever we go on holiday, we don't look at the weather or whatever like that. But I think the connection with the coast is something different. We've spoken about this before, and I've said to you that once we finish the workshop, that energy stays with me for months. But now I know I can come back for a top-up anytime I want.
Yeah. But it's so beautiful. I mean, I know I've been away many times in my life to, whether it's been holidays or retreats or workshops, and you don't go back the same person. You pick up something from that. And I think especially when we're doing something we enjoy. And it's so lovely for me to hear that that energy stays with you, because I think that's the beautiful thing when we take that time to go somewhere and invest in these things, to know that, you know, it's not just those 5 days that you experience, it's the knock-on effect and the aftermath of that and what you then take home with you, and just this sense that you said, this energy that stays with you. I mean, it's incredible. And I think it just shows that when we go places that speak to us, we pick up the essence of that place and the people that we spend the time with. You know, for me, it's as much as the people that come on these things. And wow, I just think it's incredible that you've said that there about the energy staying with you.
Some people get that energy by going to a sunny resort. You know, they've been working for how many ever weeks it is in the year. They have 2 weeks off. They fly off to a sunny place and come back recharged. To me, coming here, regardless of the weather, I know that energy will stay with me. And I know that if I need to come back, I can come back. And it's now I know I've got contacts now which I can use to book either the same place or there's another place that's been recommended as well. So accommodation wouldn't be a problem for me. And also I think now it isn't the number of hours it takes to get here. Forget about those hours. Forget about what you're going to see and feel like when you get up here. Yeah. So that'll be good.
That we often put barriers in the way, don't we? We think, oh, I'd love to do that, but I've got to do this to get there. But actually nothing in life that's rewarding, you know, we have to do things to get there. You know, it's incredible. It's amazing. So when we're on the beach today, I'd love to know a little bit just about what was it that, you know, when we were out there that was speaking to you, and what sort of images did you decide to create?
What was it out there? I don't know what it is, but all I can tell you is that what I see in terms of the sea, like the colours we were talking about earlier, they just speak to me. What I try and do is I try and capture that, to create that image, because, and we've spoken about this before as well, because for me, when I press the shutters on the camera, the journey just starts from there. I love spending time editing my photographs, not because I want to make them something that they're not, or put colours in, or put stuff there that isn't actually there. But it's actually, that connection stays with me. So I keep tweaking about with it. Oh, that looks nice. But really, I'm back here again, or wherever I've created that image. So I love taking it to that point, see something that I like, that's pleasing to my eye, holding it within the camera, creating it within the camera, and then continuing that journey on. And I thoroughly enjoy that. To me, that is better than any drug that you can take.
And I think that is such a beautiful place to end. So, Indy, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to meet with you today and showing me this beautiful cottage that you're staying in, and just to be able to do some photography with you again for a couple of hours. It's been lovely.
It's been a pleasure.
And for what you've shared with those that will watch this, hopefully it'll give them some inspiration for their own journey forwards. Now, it's very cold, and you're going to cook us some wonderful Indian food.
Yes.
So let's enjoy.
Yeah, come on in.
As we wrap up this week's video, I want to leave you with a couple of reflections. First, do you have a place that you love to go? Somewhere that makes you feel peaceful, grounded and inspired? And if you do, are you giving yourself the time to visit it, to really be there, and to let yourself be held by the elements around you? Second, Is there something you've always wanted to attend or experience, but you've talked yourself out of it because it feels too far, too much, or not practical right now? If so, what might shift if you change the story? What if the journey itself was part of the adventure? Part of what strengthens you, expands you, and prepares you for what's waiting on the other side? Because here's the thing, when we feel called towards something, an experience, a place, a moment of inspiration, and we shut it down, we may be closing the door on something that could quite literally change our lives. Indy choosing to make the 8-hour journey up to Cullen is a perfect example. By saying yes to that trip, he found a place that lights him up, that brings him a deep sense of peace, a place that feels like coming home. And when we listen to those inner nudges, we often find exactly what we need. A place, a person, an opportunity, or a new piece of ourselves that transforms everything. Thank you so much for watching. Wishing you a very blessed and creative week.